Hi, everyone. A very warm welcome for joining in and listening to this conversation today. Today, I will use this time to talk about an important and very relevant topic for product teams. It's cultivating customer centricity, which is led by product teams, and how we can use the best tools at our disposal right now, which is AI and LLMs, for better decisions, alignment, and influence. Before we move forward into the topic, let me take some time to just introduce myself. I'm Priyanka Pal. I'm a product manager at Devrev. Before this, I started my career as a software developer. And before just jumping into product management, I was a senior software engineer at a company where we were building data platforms and operations platform for financial institutions like hedge funds. Here at Devrev, we are building a unified platform to bring together product development teams and their systems with the customer-facing teams like sales and support, with just one goal of driving better customer experience and growth. So at Devrev, our mission is very simple. Like it is to help shape the world's most customer-centric companies. And we think this will be best achieved by connecting the builders of the product, the developers, the designers, the product managers, and connecting them to customers, which is Rev, with an AI native platform that unifies customer experience, product development, and growth. Now, Devrev started with this mission, but the backstory is equally interesting. Like Devrev started with the experiences of our founding team from many previous product companies. One in specific being Nutanix, where Devrev's founders, both Dheeraj and Manoj, took Nutanix from incubation in 2009 to the biggest tech IPO of 2016, all while maintaining an NPS of 90 plus all through the years since then. So the learning from that was that customer centricity is hard, but definitely possible to achieve as well as systemize. So today I'll make a case for what is customer centricity, how the world understands it, and what it would take to make this possible at scale for a product org. So when we think about customer centricity, we believe that when every employee adopts a product thinking mindset, and then customer centricity as a result would transcend from a department to become a culture. Now, product and engineering teams have to play a significant role in this. They are already a significant core of the businesses already, and they will continue playing a pivotal role going forward as well. So the opportunity and the burden both are on product teams to foster this culture of product thinking, not just to an isolated group of PMs and PM product leads, but to the entire product org at large, as well as to the entire company at large. So the concept of customer centricity is not unique or is not new, right? It has been there around for quite some time. And even back in 2018, Marty Kagan wrote a very interesting article called Empowered Product Teams, which we find it relevant even in today's day and age, where he talks about how product teams often are not empowered enough to work on the problems that will solve core user needs as well as benefit the business. In fact, what happens in reality is that product teams are treated as feature delivery or feature shop teams who are constantly delivering features and shipping out things without realizing the value that it will provide to their customers as well as to the business. So what does an empowered product team really mean? It means a team that can prioritize value over the features and the deliverables, etc. Product teams need to be customer first, which is true consistent innovation happening on behalf of the customer. So every product decision that they take towards making improvements or doing innovations in their product should be in line with what will benefit their customers. And to do this, there has to be an insight-driven product strategy, not guesswork-driven or subjective opinion-driven, but discovering the most critical problems to solve to deliver both customer and business value. Now, empowered product teams means to be doing product thinking, what we were talking about, that if the teams have this product thinking mindset, then customer centricity will not be just limited to departments, but it will become a culture in the entire org. But And product thinking is hard. Like with all this wisdom, product thinking is hard at scale and it's not repeatable. So we have all experienced this in many forms, be it roadmaps based on stakeholder opinions, maintaining clarity of purpose at all times with the execution teams, or even hardships in maintaining visibility and confidence on the roadmaps that you pitch. So what makes it hard? So let's look at some of the reasons that why this happens. So if you see, when a company starts, when it is small in size, everyone has a seat at the table with the end user. Everyone knows there are only few limited end users and must be developing your product, shipping like prototypes out or even MVPs out and getting direct feedback from your end users and going back to your drawing whiteboard and figuring out how to improve it. But as the company grows, you start specializing in things that people start becoming organized into departments who are specialized at doing certain things. So you have your customer support teams forming who are directly, at the face of all the customer problems that the customers are facing, and they're solving it through ticketing platforms like Zendesk, Intercom, and the likes. You have your product development teams who are still building and developing the product, who are constantly improving the product, and they have their own tool stack to live in, to work out of, like the project management tools like Jira, GitHub, and Figma, and all of those other things that product teams like product managers, engineers, and designers live out of. And then your entire customer data is managed by your sales teams who are constantly bringing in new customers to your pipeline. They're managing the contacts, the churns, the opportunities, all of that in tools like Salesforce and HubSpot. So all of this data starts residing in different tools, which adds to the complexity. You need different tools, you need different kinds of data to look at, but all of that is siloed. And product sits in the between and the end user is still there. So those two things have remained the same right from the first picture that we saw when the company was small. But all these other blocks that you see on the screen have started forming because of the growing nature of the company and hence the complexity involved in running all the operations smoothly. So as a side effect, what happens is that all this data becomes siloed, teams become siloed, and if you see the developers and the PMs, they are farther and farther away from the raw customer voice coming in through so many different channels and tools like Salesforce, Zendesk, all the interactions they are doing on the product, which is captured in sessions and clickstream data. So all in all, this causes a lot of siloed data that the product teams don't have access to. And this leads to a disconnected organization. So both customer data and product data are spread across systems, and the customer facing teams don't have a view into all the things that are happening on the product side. So they don't have access to the product data. At the same time, the product teams don't have access to the customer data. And this then causes the problem of being truly customer centric, to be having that product thinking mindset hat on at all times in order to be truly customer centric. And this is something that people often talk about, right? That this was a famous, I think, LinkedIn or Twitter post where someone mentioned the harsh reality of like working in a product org where you are constantly switching between different tools like Slack, Confluence, Zoom, then taking notes in Notion, then tracking project progress and updating it on some project management tool. And at the end of the day, you feel like so much time has been spent on just doing work about work. So your actual work is happening elsewhere, but there is so much time and so many ceremonies that is happening just to stay on top of your work, to just manage your work. And all of this contributes to making product thinking hard, especially at scale. So we talked about siloed departments where teams are divided by tooling, which means disconnected data, but also disconnected people. The customer voice being lost through the cracks. The customer voice being scattered across different channels, and that the product teams don't have access to, or even if they have, it is a very layered access. There are lots of layers of people and departments in between. And then because of the rush of doing like more with like keep on shipping out things, what ends up happening is just managing your projects rather than taking a step back and actually thinking about your product as a whole and how you are constantly improving your product offering. So project management gets amplified, your day-to-day project management gets amplified over through product management. So, as we went about systemizing this approach to make product thinking easier for ourselves and our customers at scale, it became evident that solving this just with the process might not be enough. Just how these problems are faced by humans, the same would be to a large degree be faced by machines and AI agents as well. So, as we expect them to augment our workforce and assist in a lot of the tasks going forward, because truly this is the age of using AI and LLMs. But just with a process change or a tool change, that is not possible, because we equally need a platform and tooling that will facilitate this product thinking for not only humans but as well as AI agents. What is present in the current systems, if we even have AI agents working on top of that, even AI agents will struggle with the siloed data and the data not being interconnected enough to actually derive meaningful insights. So let's try to figure out what we need to make this product thinking at scale possible. So we have customer, we all know that, and the customer is constantly interacting with the product, giving feedbacks, even churning, they're stopping, their journeys on the product. And you have the people who are constantly building this product, improving this product, supporting the product, growing the revenue of the product. So you have product, customer, and people. So from a first principles thinking, this stays true in all scenarios, like over time, right? That you have product, people, and customer. But now, if we can connect the dots between these, the work that people are constantly doing, the customer interactions that are happening, the new customers that are getting onboarded, and the way they are consuming the product, they're buying the product, all of these things that are happening in silos across different tools and systems and departments, if all of this data they are truly interconnected, because what you ship, what you work on gets reflected in the product, and that drives more usage or adoption or churn based on how customers are perceiving the value that they're getting out of the product improvements that you're constantly shipping. So all of this is truly interconnected. But if we could actually connect all these dots, and with data coming in from different systems, like yours, say a customer metadata coming in from your Salesforce and HubSpots of the world, your customer feedbacks and interactions or the problems they're reporting coming in from your support tools, and all the work that is happening to continuously improve or build your product is happening in tools like GitHub, and all of that is then connected to form a true knowledge graph. So if all of this is connected to form a knowledge graph, then AI can work on top of this knowledge graph to reduce the operational overhead of synthesizing feedback, capturing execution, monitoring alignment. Then it frees up your team from the burden of all this manual work. To make it possible, this kind of knowledge graph is needed, which mirrors your product catalog in the real world and also connects all these missing pieces like your customer feedbacks from different channels, your customer data from tools, and then teams can then plan and their roadmaps and sprints around this data and not subjective opinions anymore. So in Devrev, we took this kind of thinking and implemented that in our product. And so if this knowledge graph is something that we talk about, this is exactly what you see when you use Devrev. So if you see in this screen, all the products that Devrev offers are mapped out with the underlying key capabilities or the offerings that it makes it possible for the customers to get out of this product. And there is all the information, like who are the top customers for each specific part of your product, each specific capability of your product. Even that information is there in the system. And all the customer feedbacks, all the development work that is happening, all of that is connected to this knowledge graph. And you can visualize and you can interact with this knowledge graph in real time in our product like this. So having this knowledge graph modeled in our system, what does it unlock for product teams? What do they get out of these? So I'll talk a little bit about how using this knowledge graph, there are key offerings that helps product teams do the product thinking at scale that we have been talking about, which is AI agents monitoring customer voice, because all of these feedbacks are connected to different parts of your product. You can have agents continuously consolidating, enriching these feedbacks, and also generating themes that are emerging from all these feedbacks, along with the sentiment, the severity, the type of feedback, all of this enrichment being done by understanding the feedback deeply. And after getting all these insights, you can actually take it back to your roadmaps and sprints to take action upon it. So as a result, you spend less time on mundane tasks like status checks and sorting through your feedbacks and manually labeling them, trying to find out common patterns. So if machine does all of this for you, you can focus on solving real customer problems with the most impact. Secondly, what you get in Devrev is objective roadmaps because of all the customer voice that is coming in and AI agents helping you to take action on these feedbacks that are coming in. You can build roadmaps that are reflecting true customer needs. Every roadmap item or enhancement on your product can become truly connected to the customer impact, ensuring that the customer remains the true north in every decision that you and your company takes as a whole. This then lets you do data-driven prioritization and not depend on stale frameworks, which are again very subjective and guesswork-driven, but making it closer to business outcomes and breaking away from all the opinion-based roadmaps that you might be coming up with in absence of all this data. And this also unlocks collaboration of a next level, because then everyone on your team, your engineers, designers, your other stakeholders, they all have shared context on what is impactful, on what is important. And this makes all your roadmaps a very collaboration-ready canvas for your teams to come in and execute with confidence. Not only building roadmaps and executing on them is important, but you want to also analyze at every step that things that you are shipping out is constantly adding value to your product. So you also get democratized product 360 in Devrev, because you need to look at usage funnels, UX metrics, session replays to understand how your products are performing. You also need to get constant customer feedback on things that you have already shipped out to validate all your hypotheses, whether it is really impacting customers in a positive way. And while doing all of this, you also need to constantly monitor the execution. So democratized product 360 means 360-degree insights of every part of your product in terms of execution, in terms of customer feedbacks, in terms of the usage interactions, the usage journeys, the metrics, all of that. So as a result, you don't just jump through a dozen tools to answer simple questions about how your product is performing, what is health is. You can democratize this data and get real-time insights that you can share with your teams, your other stakeholders in your company. And that drives to overall benefits for your product teams at large, with benefits like 30% reduction in development cycle time, 50% reduction in resolution time for product-related bugs and customer requests, and 40% cost savings through consolidation of tool stack. Now, these are benefits that our customers using Devrev for their product teams have realized because of having AI agents monitoring the customer voice, the objective roadmaps that they can create out of all the inputs in the system. And thirdly, the democratized product 360 insights that they can get out of Devrev for their product teams to make further decisions on. So, this is all that I had to talk about how customer centricity is so important, but also becomes hard in all the traditional systems and processes that we have been following, and how AI and LLMs can actually help us to take this burden away, and how it can help us make more data driven decisions and be truly customer centric as product orgs, and also share that context with everyone else to build confidence and bring alignment and complete clarity to the table. So thank you for staying and listening to this conversation. I hope it was helpful. And if you need to reach out to me or contact me, you can reach out to me on my LinkedIn handle. And if you want to know more about the kind of fun stuff we are doing at Devrev, to truly connect Dev and Rev, you can visit us at our website. Yeah, and thank you so much for staying.